Alright, settle down, take out your books, we'll pick up from where we last left off. As established, according to the Oxford Dictionary, chivalry is defined as courteous behavior, especially that of a man towards a woman. Medieval chivalry, on the other hand, is well established in pop culture as a code of ethics for knights. It's, of course, more complicated than that. As codified by Leon Gautier, after a lifetime of study, it has more to do with obeying the church and your feudal lord, so long as what your feudal lord says doesn't disobey the church. So you sort of have to wonder, how did we get from that to opening doors for women? Well, the key is in the third rule Gautier codified. It is, "Thou shalt respect all weakness, and shalt constitute thyself the defender of them." Well, how does that have to tie in with it? Well, the first theory goes that the term weakness, around the Victorian era, when medieval stories, where chivalry was sort of the main point, really, the thing, became more popular in the late Victorian era, and as a consequence, we had the Victorians adapt chivalry to, say, I'm more of a gentleman, I follow chivalry. That was sort of the big thing back then. The other theory goes that the trope of courtly romance got confused with chivalry. You can see this in a few stories. Gawain and the Green Knight is a great example. Who here knows what courtly? None of you know what courtly. Okay, courtly romance is the almost extreme, pretty extreme actually, idolization of a woman, usually of high status, from a man. A great example is the love triangle between King Arthur, Guinevere, and Lancelot. The courtly romance occurring between Guinevere and Lancelot. Feel free to read up on that. You're going to find a dozen different versions because people keep on rewriting those stories. But in essence, the politeness part of things, especially in Gawain and the Green Knight, it's even called politeness. Politeness that impressed at all times. That gets confused with chivalry, and as a result, when it is repopularized in the late 19th century, the now modified chivalry became the chivalry that the gentlemen of the period attempted to model themselves after. And so along with the idea of protecting the weak, you ended up with the concerned protection, obedience, and service exclusively towards women. Of course, given the complete lack of rights that women had at the time of the 19th century, it sort of goes as you would expect. But as sort of suffrage and civil rights movements went on across the 20th century, and even in today, it's sort of modified. The more extreme elements of it went away. By extreme elements, I mean sort of going to the point of like, yo, we can't take you outside, it's drizzling. Never mind the umbrella, it's drizzling. Now, of course, all this begs the question, where will it go from here? Of course, no one knows, but two schools of thought on that would be either it gets thrown out entirely, or it gets altered again, especially Rule 3, so that weakness does not mean women. In fact, weakness isn't in there at all. It simply will. The third rule will simply read, "Thou shalt respect all, and constitute the defender of them all." Much better cornerstone to society, I feel. So, cynic would be thrown out entirely, optimist would be altered to that, I suspect. Are there any other questions? No? Okay. Well, as just established, a modern knight would probably be rather confused if they saw what was going on today. Also by the big windmills. Hopefully they won't think they're giants. Alright, class dismissed, and I hope to see you all next time.